Welcome. We are going to carry out integration of product of two sine functions and see how the solution behave from minus minus pi to pi. So the problem is to evaluate the integral taking care of the cases where m equals to n and m not equals to n of sine mx times sine nx. So the limits of integration are from minus pi to pi. So this very simple integral to evaluate by simply knowing that sine of A times sine of B is given by a half into cosine of A minus B minus cosine of A plus B. So this is what we're going to use. So in our case, we have sine mx and then sine nx. So this is the same thing as saying a half into cosine of m minus n x minus cosine of m plus n x. So therefore now to integrate from minus pi to pi of sine mx sine nx dx, we simply integrate from minus pi to pi of this one now, which is a half into cosine m minus n x minus cosine m plus n x dx. So we distribute, so this now reduces to a half from minus pi to pi of cosine of m minus n x dx minus a half integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of m plus n x dx. So we have now two integrals to integrate. So we can call this one 1, can call this one 2. But now let's see case 1. M equals to n. When m equals to n, what this one means is that m minus n is 0. So it means that then the integral from minus pi to pi of sine mx sine nx dx equals to, now because this part will be 0, so we'll have a half integral from minus pi to pi. So this will be 0, so 0 times x is 0, so cos of 0 is 1, so just 1 dx minus a half, and then integral from minus pi to pi, cosine of m plus n x dx. So next will be a half, then x from minus pi to pi, and then minus a half. On integrate cosine function, you get sine function, then divided by m plus n, then apply limits from minus pi to pi. Now, this would be a half into pi minus pi, and then minus a half into sine m plus n pi over m plus n minus sine m plus n minus pi divided by m plus n. So this will be a half times 2 pi minus a half into sine m plus n pi over m plus n. Now minus minus becomes plus sine m plus n pi m plus n. So this will give us pi minus a half, and then you can say m plus n into sine m plus n pi plus sine m plus n pi. So we have pi minus 2 into m plus n, and then into 2 sine m plus n pi, so that we have pi. So these two will be now 1 over m plus n into sine m plus n pi, and no sign of multiples of pi 0. So this part goes to 0. So the answer becomes pi. Case 2, m not equals to n. So we have integral from minus pi to pi of sine m x or times sine of nx. Be given by a half integral from minus pi to pi cosine of m minus n x dx minus a half minus pi to pi of cosine of m plus n x dx. So we'll have a half into, so this one you get sine function m minus n, m minus n x, then limits from minus pi to pi minus a half sine sine of m plus n x over m plus n, and then limits from minus pi to pi. So this will be a half into actually I can factorize out m minus n for this first part. I say 2 into m minus n into sine m minus n pi, so plus sine m minus n pi, so plus because sine of minus pi is minus, so minus minus plus. Similarly, I'll have minus a half into minus minus, and then I have 1 over 2 into m plus n sine m plus n pi, lower limit minus minus, so minus be plus sine m plus n pi. So which will give us, this will be, so this will be two of them. So just have 1 over m minus n. And in fact, we can clearly see that this will be 0, because multiple of pi. So this is 0. This will also be 0. This will be 0. This will also be 0. So this by 0 just be given 0. So 0 minus 0 gives us 0. So therefore, in general, integral from minus pi to pi of sine mx times sine nx dx has two values, pi when m is equals to n, and 0 when m is not equals to n. So that is the solution.